It was the third week of the new school year and the students were becoming more at ease with each other. Mr. Copeland's English class was becoming somewhat rowdy as the students laughed and joked with each other before class started. Lynn Collins was somewhat of a joker and loved to tease other students. He never did it in a mean fashion but always in fun, and the other students loved the way he did it. Lynn was a freshman at a new school, and even though he was short in stature, he was well liked. He was on the water polo team, so he kept fit from all of the exercise swimming brought. Lynn liked to wear his hair long because he knew it bothered his mother, and it was another way to tease her about something or another. Lynn's father had divorced his mother when she went back to work and began to make twice his salary, and he felt threatened by her success, so he left them and never was heard from again. Lynn was in the middle of one of his pranks when the rubber band that held his below-the-shoulder hair in a ponytail broke, causing his hair to flow around his head. It was at this time that Mr. Copeland entered the classroom and saw the disruption going on. "Miss Collins, would you please be seated and settle down?" shouted Mr. Copeland. "But I'm not a miss," replied Lynn before Mr. Copeland cut him off. "Not another word, Miss Collins, or I will send you to the principal," he said as he slammed his hand on the desk to emphasize the point. Lynn didn't say another word, knowing that to argue now would be fruitless and that he would correct Mr. Copeland's mistake about his sex at a later date. One of his best friends, Mindy, looked at Lynn and started to laugh at Mr. Copeland's error. "Would you like to share your joke with us, Mindy?" asked Mr. Copeland. "I'm sorry, sir, it was something I thought of. It won't happen again," she replied. "I hope not. Now class, let's review our lesson from yesterday." Class ended, and as the students exited the room, Mindy ran up to Lynn with a devilish look on her face. "Lynn, could you believe that? Mr. Copeland thought you were a girl. It wasn't my fault that my rubber band broke and my hair went everywhere. I think it's a hoot. I was thinking that we should play a trick on him and let him think you are a girl and let the rest of the class in on the joke, so every time he calls on you the class will know he is making a mistake and will love making fun of him. You know how anal he is about perfection. That would be fun, but I don't know if I want to pretend to be a girl. I know I'm short, but I doubt he will be fooled for much longer. We should forget about it. One mistake is enough. Come on, Lynn, it would be fun. It's not like you have to pretend to be a girl all day. Just let your hair down when you go to Mr. Copeland's class and tie it up afterwards. Please do it. Think of it as your own little joke." "I guess I could, and besides it's just for one class and you know how I love a good joke." Thus began Lynn's daily joke on Mr. Copeland. He would take down his ponytail and brush his hair a bit to make it fuller, and then he would enter the classroom, and the rest of the class loved the joke, knowing that Mr. Copeland truly thought Lynn was a girl, a somewhat rowdy one, but a girl. It was an easy mistake, being as Lynn's name could be a boy's or girl's depending on who had it. 2 weeks had passed and Lynn was at Mindy's home to do some homework on a joint project for Mr. Copeland's class. Mindy looked at Lynn with that look again and started to smile. "Lynn, I just had another idea for a trick to play, only this time on the rest of the students." "What now?" "The last trick has lasted way too long. What do you have in mind?" "You know how the homecoming game is only 3 weeks away and nominations are due for prince and princesses. Well, I was thinking that I should nominate you for one of the princesses." "Screw you, Mindy. That's not funny." "Yes, it would be. Just think of what the kids would do that we told about the joke and let the rest of the school vote on you for princess." "Don't worry, you won't win, and it would be so much fun. After it is all over we could tell everyone and laugh ourselves sick. Come on, be a sport. All we have to do is make you up, take a picture to put on the posters that we will hang in the school, and that's all you have to do other than laugh about it later. I think it's dangerous for us to do something like that, but as usual I'm always game for a good joke. Besides, what could go wrong?" "Good, I knew you would do it, so I already submitted your name and the teacher coordinator accepted your entry and said that we must give her a picture tomorrow before school starts." "How are we going to do that?" "I'll make you up and style your hair, have you put on one of my blouses, and that's it, since all they need is a headshot of you. Come on, this is going to be fun. I guess it will be the ultimate joke. Can you just imagine the look of surprise on the kids' faces when we tell them the truth? I'm starting to laugh just thinking about it. This is so cool. Let's get started." Mindy took out her makeup case and started on Lynn's face. His eyebrows were a little bushy, so Mindy plucked them enough to clean them up and made them look much more feminine. While doing so, she was getting carried away with this disguise and didn't realize she was. Next came the shadow, eyeliner, and mascara. Mindy added a little blush, lined Lynn's lips with a brush, and finished with lipstick. She then brushed Lynn's hair until it shined. "Lynn, I'm going to style your hair like Sarah Jessica Parker's, except yours is auburn and hers is blonde. I just have to clean up the split ends and add some curls so it will look good, but you will still be able to tie it back into a ponytail like always." Mindy worked on Lynn's hair until she was able to frame his face just like Sarah's. She stood back and gasped when she saw what she had done. "Oh my," she said. "What's wrong? Do I look like a clown?" asked Lynn in dismay. "Oh no, just the opposite, you're gorgeous." "Let me see." "Turn around and look in the mirror." Lynn turned and looked. Staring back was the prettiest girl he had ever seen. Lynn was stunned. Now he knew what could go wrong. "Mindy, I think we're making a mistake. I can't do this. People will think I'm really a girl. We could get in a lot of trouble." "We won't get in trouble since we are the only ones that know you are a boy, and don't worry Lynn, you won't win. I talked to Ashley and she says that she already has enough votes to win, so calm down. Let's just play the joke." "Alright, I guess you're right, as long as there is no way that I can win. Take off your shirt and put on this blouse and I will take your picture and then we will be done. Don't worry about your jeans because all that will be seen is the top of the blouse, so you don't even have to worry about boobs. Look this way, smile, look sexy like the pretty girl you are." Flash went the camera. "Wait, let's take one together." Flash went the camera. "Just one more, flash, they're all done. Come here and look at the shots. Do you like them?" "You look great," she said as the two teens viewed the digital screen on the camera. "God, I do look good. If I didn't know it was me I would vote for me. Are you sure I won't win?" "You don't have a chance, so don't worry." Mindy printed the picture and made several copies to turn in and then removed Lynn's makeup and brushed his hair back into a ponytail. "There we go, Lynn, the boy is back, and thank God. I was getting a little jealous of you. It isn't fair when a boy looks better as a girl than a real girl does." "Well, don't worry, it wasn't that much fun. I think I can pass on doing it again, although it was fun to see what I would look like as a girl. We had better get our homework done, it's getting late." Mindy and Lynn finished their homework and Lynn went home. When he went to bed he was more than a little disturbed, thinking about the beautiful girl he had become, if only just briefly. He fell into a fitful sleep and dreamed about going to the mall with Mindy and buying clothes, girls' clothes. He awoke in a sweat. "Never again will I try to look like a girl," he thought. The next day Mindy turned the pictures into Miss Benson. "My goodness, what a beautiful girl Lynn is," commented Miss Benson. "Yes, she is, but she is very shy and that's why you really never notice her." "Well, when the posters go up people will notice her. I wouldn't doubt it if she were to win." "I seriously doubt that. I talked to Ashley and she said that she already had enough votes to win." "She might have enough freshman votes, but the winner is the total of all the classes. Each class votes for one boy and one girl in each class, and then the person with the highest total wins for that class, with the senior class being the king and queen and the lower classes being the court of prince and princesses. Tell your friend not to give up hope just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if she were to win. I hope you put down her favorite cause because the school donates $100 to each winner's favorite charity. I'll tell her. She will be very excited." Mindy found Lynn and told him that she turned in the pictures. "What did Miss Benson say when she saw me?" "She said you were uncommonly beautiful, but not to worry, that Ashley was sure to win," Mindy said, hoping that her lie would pacify Lynn. "That's a relief. I don't know what I would do if I won." The days passed and all the votes were taken and Lynn's greatest fear was realized. He won Homecoming Princess by a landslide. He couldn't wait to see what he could do to rectify the mistake he and Mindy had made. "Mindy, what the hell have we done? I'm dead meat. I thought this would be just some silly prank. Now I feel like an idiot for doing this. Tomorrow we have to go to Miss Benson and tell her what we have done, so Ashley can win instead of me. I hope we aren't expelled for doing this. Maybe Miss Benson will laugh about it too, but I doubt it. She's really going to be pissed. The next morning the two evildoers were in Miss Benson's office confessing to what they had done as a prank. Are you trying to tell me that the girl pictured on the poster is really a boy? Do you know what kind of trouble you are in? As soon as the votes were counted, Lynn's donation was sent to the Cancer Society with a picture of her as the person making the donation, as is the custom every year. During homecoming week, each winner is required to present the check in person during a luncheon several days before the homecoming game. After that, there will be pictures for the local paper taken before the parade, and the next day a visit to the convalescent hospital to bring attention to the older people that live there and bring some happiness into their lives. There is also a complete makeover at the Styles Spa to help them promote their business the morning before the homecoming game, and then there is the dance afterward which must be attended. Not only would you be prosecuted for fraud, although minor, your extra school activities would be finished if you weren't kicked out of school altogether. You two had better think of a plan and tell me after school what you are going to do to rectify the problem. Do I make myself clear? Stated Miss Benson with fire in her eyes. Lynn and Mindy left her office shaking in fear. My God, Lynn, what are we going to do? If my parents find out what we have done, they will ground me forever. You're worried about your parents? If my mom finds out that I was impersonating a girl, she will break my neck. We have to think of something. I hate to recommend this, but maybe you could be a girl during the events and satisfy Miss Benson so that all the events are taken care of, and then we will never do anything so stupid again. And how do you propose that we do that? It's one thing to do a headshot with a camera, but another to have to present yourself in person at an event. Don't forget, all people could see of me was my head and shoulders. How am I going to pass as a girl from the neck down? There are ways. Come to my house after school and I will show you how. After school we will tell Miss Benson of our plans, and if you can pass as a girl for a few hours each day, we will be saved. I wish I had never let you talk me into this silly stunt, but now I guess we will have to try to make it right with nobody getting hurt in the process. Lynn and Mindy presented their plan to Miss Benson, who warned them that if they were to be caught she would disavow any knowledge of the plan and they would be kicked out of school. She also added that if there was anything she could do to help, just ask. Lynn and Mindy met at Mindy's home to see what they could do with Lynn. Lynn, we are going to have to do this the right way from the beginning. We will have to work from the skin out. Fortunately, you haven't started puberty yet, so you have no facial hair to worry about, but as a girl you will have to shave your legs and underarms even though you just have light hair there. For this to work, you are going to look and act like a girl even if what you do can't be seen. Go into my bathroom and take a shower, shampoo your hair, and while you are in there use my razor to shave. When you are done, come back into my room and we will get started. Lynn entered the shower and did as directed. He washed his hair with scented shampoo and soaped and shaved as directed. His hair smelled like flowers and his legs had a new sensitivity of feeling that both disturbed and heightened new feelings in him. He knew it was wrong to be shaving his legs before he even thought of shaving his face, but yet he liked the feeling of it. There was something girlish feeling about what he had done, and yet he liked the feeling. Perhaps it was the fact that he had yet to have testosterone course through his body, and he was yet very much like a young girl and doing something that an adult would do that caused these feelings, even though it was what an adult woman would do. He finished washing and returned to Mindy's room with mixed feelings of what was happening to him. Oh, Lynn, you smell pretty. Put on these panties and sit at my makeup table so I can dry your hair and style it. Lynn reached for the panties and slid them up his clean-shaved legs. They were a satin thong. He felt them slide up his legs and nestle over his underdeveloped penis and then slip between his butt cheeks. Lynn liked the feel of them and wondered what else Mindy had in store for him. Mindy dried his hair and brushed it out until it was styled and had a sheen that sparkled in the light. You have beautiful hair, Lynn. I wish we could have it styled by a real hairdresser, but I guess it will have to wait. Okay, we have to start dressing you and see what we can do to give you curves. Here is one of my bras. Let me help you put it on, and then I will stuff it with some wash clothes to fill it out. Mindy fastened the bra behind Lynn's back and stuffed the cups with the clothes. Just this small thing was awakening feelings in Lynn's mind that were both disturbing and erotic at the same time. The tightness of the bra around his chest felt strange, yet good at the same time. It was probably the fact that Lynn hadn't started puberty that was intensifying these feelings within him. Lynn, you're thin, but you don't have much of a waist, so I'm going to put this waist cincher on you, so you will look like you have curves. Suck in your stomach so I can fasten the hooks. Harder, just a little more, that's it, you're hooked. Now I want you to put on a pair of my pantyhose, so we can see what your legs look like. Mindy showed Lynn how to put them on and not run them. Lynn's legs were very nicely shaped from swimming, softly rounded calves and thighs, instead of the harsh muscular definition he would have gotten if he were a runner. The sensation Lynn was getting from the pantyhose was awakening hidden feelings in his mind, and he was beginning to like them way too much. Lynn, let me do your makeup now and then you can finish dressing. Mindy did Lynn's makeup the same as the last time, then helped him to put on a skirt and sweater with a round neck cut low enough to make one want to see cleavage, yet not so low as to expose that cleavage. The skirt fell to mid-thigh, as is the style of today's girls. Mindy found a pair of 2-inch heels for Lynn to wear, and he found them to be a little loose, but they would do for now. Lynn, I want you to stand for me so I can take a good look at you. Please turn around, careful, don't trip with those heels on, that's it, slowly, wow, I think we did it. It's a good thing you don't go to school looking like that or all, and I mean all the boys would be after you. You are beautiful. I want you to look in the mirror now and tell me what you think. Lynn looked in the mirror and almost fainted. He couldn't believe the beautiful girl looking back at him was indeed himself. Never had he experienced anything like this. He looked and looked, trying to find anything that reminded him of the boy who should be looking back at him, but couldn't find anything at all. He was having mixed feelings. He knew this was wrong, but he liked what he saw. He liked it a lot. As a boy he would be noticed as a cut-up and prankster, but beyond that he was just a little boy, but like this he was a beautiful young woman, one that would turn heads wherever she went. Lynn was liking this way too much. Lynn, what do you think? Do you think you can pass for a girl next week? Wow, are you kidding? I'm gorgeous. Maybe I should have been born as a girl instead of a boy. Don't be silly, when you get a little older and grow you will be very handsome, but for now you will have to be a girl temporarily. I know you can pass with your looks, but you will have to practice being a girl, or maybe someone will see you acting like a boy and figure out what we are doing. You are going to have to learn to be a girl by next week. We will start tonight with walking and sitting and hand gestures. This is going to be a lot of work. Tomorrow we will have to get you some shoes that fit properly or you will break your neck walking. Tomorrow I will ask Miss Benson if she can get some silicone breasts for you that glue on because these don't look right. Okay, let's start practicing. Lynn spent the next 3 hours walking, sitting, talking and using his hands more when he did. He learned how to get excited when they talked of boys and scream like a girl as his voice had not yet begun to change. Lynn was exhausted by 11 o'clock and couldn't wait to get to bed. Wait, Lynn, you have to remove your makeup and my clothes. Hurry and I will show you how to do it. Mindy took Lynn into the bathroom and removed his makeup with cold cream and returned his hair to a ponytail. The disappointed look on Lynn's face when he saw it without makeup wasn't missed by Mindy. I know how you feel. I hate getting all dressed and made up and then have to take it off. It makes me sad too. I don't know how I should feel, Mindy. I'm a boy and I shouldn't have these feelings, and yet I do feel sad that the girl Lynn is gone. Don't worry, tomorrow the girl Lynn will be back, so don't be too sad. Lynn hugged Mindy and said, "Thanks, Mindy, you're a real friend." Lynn went directly to bed when he arrived home. His mother wondered what could have taken him so long with his homework, but since he was with Mindy she didn't worry. Lynn fell asleep, and this night he dreamed of being a girl again and hanging out with the girls at school talking about boys in fashion. This night, however, he didn't wake as he had before, but slept soundly and for some reason felt like he was a real girl. The next day Mindy approached Miss Benson about the possibility of getting some breast forms for Lynn. "Mindy, I know where there are a pair, and we'll have them for you this afternoon. Stop by on the way home from school and I will give them to you. By the way, how does Lynn look?" "Oh, Miss Benson, if Lynn were to come to school as a girl she would be the prettiest girl in the school. When he was dressed last night I couldn't believe how he looked. The thing that was weird though was that after a little practice he was a girl. There was something inside of him that said girl, not boy, when he was dressed as a girl. It was as though he lost his male personality and became a girl through and through. I'm kind of worried that maybe he will like doing this too much. I hope not, but after he completes his task next week I'm sure he won't be able to wait to become a boy again. I hope so. Mindy picked up the breast forms and brought them home for Lynn to wear. Mindy had Lynn remove his clothing and put on a pair of panties. She then had him lay on her bed so she could attach the forms. She glued them on his chest and had him stand after the glue had set. How do they feel? She asked. Heavy, but they make me feel as though they were really my breasts, they even bounce. Luckily they are only AB size so my bras will fit you. Let me put some makeup on the seams so they will blend in and look real. Mindy blended the seam and true to her word the seam disappeared and it now looked as though Lynn had breasts. Mindy brought a lacy bra for Lynn to wear and showed him how to put it on. I want you to do it yourself. Dressing yourself is part of being a girl and it will help you feel more like one. Lynn put on the bra as Mindy had shown him and it did make him have new feelings of femininity that he was becoming to enjoy. Mindy then had him do his own makeup but with a lot of coaching until it looked as though he was an expert at doing it himself. You have to be able to do your own makeup because I won't always be here to do it for you, so you will have to practice when we get back from shopping. What do you mean back from shopping? I told you yesterday we had to get you some shoes and we might as well get you your own makeup because I don't want to get an infection in my eye from sharing makeup. I wish we could pierce your ears while we are out but I guess that can wait. Here, put on this blouse and these jeans and here are some white shoes you can wear. No heels yet because girls our age don't wear heels except for important functions. Lynn put on the blouse and jeans and found that the low-cut jeans were very tight and that the blouse only came down to his navel, leaving his midsection exposed. Mindy, this blouse is too short, it only covers my breasts. It's supposed to be short, it's the style. Lynn looked in the mirror and realized that Mindy was right, it was the style. What was more unsettling though was that Lynn looked really cute, for a girl. Even more so was that he liked looking like a cute girl. When are we going? Asked Lynn. Now, here's a purse for you to carry, let's go. The girls, for now Lynn was truly a girl, caught a bus to the mall. As they boarded the bus they could see a group of teenaged boys looking at them. Mindy thought nothing of the stares but Lynn was coming apart. He had never been stared at like this before and the fact that he was a boy did nothing to his confidence. He grabbed Mindy's hand with fear racing through his body. What's wrong, Lynn? Those boys are staring at us. Well, of course they are, they're boys and we are girls and that's what boys do. But what if they see I'm a boy? Girlfriend, that's the last thing they are going to see. If you're lucky one of them will ask you for your phone number and believe me one of them will. Now don't forget when you sit down keep your legs together and cross your feet at the ankles because girls always sit that way even if they don't have skirts on. Mindy and Lynn sat down and sure enough the cutest of the boys came over to ask Lynn for her number. Hi, my name is Dan. What's yours? Dan was looking directly at Lynn as he talked. I don't know if I should give it to you. I don't even know you. If I call you, you will get to know me. What's your name? Lynn, and I don't think my mother would like it if I gave it to you. Please, I promise to be a good boy. Lynn giggled at that remark but she held firm knowing that if a boy were to call for a date she would kill her son. I can't give it to you because I'm only 14 and my mom says no boys until I'm 16. What a loss, you're so pretty, are you sure? I'm sorry, but I can't. Dan left to rejoin his friends. Mindy couldn't help notice Lynn's flirty interaction with Dan and started to wonder if what she was doing with Lynn was the right thing. Wearing her clothes was one thing but having a boy-girl interaction was something quite different and she wasn't sure if she liked what she had seen. Lynn, what do you think you are doing? You shouldn't flirt with a boy like that, it's the best way to get in trouble. What was I supposed to do? Tell him I'm a boy? I didn't flirt with him, I just tried to get rid of him. Maybe you think you didn't, but that girlish little giggle and your actions said something else. I'm going to have to show you a different way to blow guys off than the way you did, although I must say you do have good taste in guys. Dan was cute, Mindy said as the girls started to giggle. The bus arrived at the mall and the girls exited near the entrance. Mindy watched Lynn walk to be sure he hadn't forgotten his lessons from the night before. His walk was that of a 14-year-old girl and she was pleased. There was no mistaking Lynn for anything but a young girl going to cruise the mall with her tight low cuts, bare midriff and cute smile. Yes, Mindy was pleased. Maybe they would get away with the deception after all. Come on Lynn, let's go into Forever 21, they have the best styles. Mindy, I don't have that much money on me to buy a lot of clothes. Silly, we're not going to buy them, we're just going to try them on, that's what girls do. You want me to try them on? Of course, you're a girl now and it will help you feel more like one. What if someone sees me? Of course they will see you just like they will see me and the rest of the girls in the store. Don't worry, you will look just like the rest of us, only prettier. Okay, I'll try, but if I freak out we will have to leave. You won't freak out. Once you get started trying on outfits I will probably have to drag you out of the store. The girls entered the store and went to the racks of clothes and started to search for the perfect outfit. Lynn watched as Mindy looked at each piece and taking several out to try on. Lynn was frozen with fear, not knowing what he should do so as not to stand out from the rest of the girls. Lynn, I'm picking these out for you to try on, but you will have to do the same or someone will think you're strange not looking for something to wear. I don't know what to do. Just go into your size section and look at the styles and pick something you like and then we will try them on. What size am I? The same as me, size 3. I'm looking at skirts and blouses for you, so look in the dress section and pick something out to try on. Lynn went to the dress section and began to look at the dresses. He was amazed at the different styles, colors and fabrics available. He finally got the nerve to touch the forbidden articles and to finally select several of the dresses to try on. He went to find Mindy so she could guide him on the next step to femininity. Come on Lynn, let's try all these outfits on. The girls went to the changing rooms and tried on all the clothing. Lynn did so with trepidation at first, but as he continued his confidence grew until he blurted out to Mindy, "This is so much fun and I love some of these clothes, I want to buy them." What are you going to do with them? Remember, this is to help teach you about girls, not turn you into one. I know how you feel though, once you try them on you want all of them. Let's go to Wet Seal and see what they have to offer. Lynn realized that Mindy was right, he was indeed a boy and this was part of the process to learn to better pass as the girl he was to be temporarily. The two friends spent the rest of the day shopping and finally Mindy realized that they hadn't bought the shoes for Lynn to wear at the homecoming parade and dance. Quick, let's get your shoes for the homecoming before the stores close. I have just the outfit at home for you to wear, but we need shoes that fit you properly or your feet will hurt all night long. Come on, let's go to Kathy Jeans. The girls entered the store and began their search. Mindy suddenly stopped and screamed, "Lynn, these are perfect. God, they're so sexy." "Excuse me, miss, do you have these sandals in red?" "What size?" asked the salesgirl. "Size 6 I think, isn't that your size, Lynn?" "I guess, let me try them on." The girl returned with red size 6 sandals for Lynn to try on. "You will have to wear these pads before you try on the shoes." Lynn put the tiny nylon pieces on his feet and then slipped the sandals on his feet. He buckled the tiny straps around his ankles and stood up in 3-inch heels for the first time in his life. Mindy grabbed his arm so he wouldn't fall over. Lynn looked at his feet, first in the mirror and then straight down. Never had he seen anything that looked so sexy. Tiny red straps going everywhere on his feet and the spike heel, so hard to balance on yet only adding to the effect the shoe projected. All he could do was sigh. How do they feel? Are they comfortable? Do they hurt? Try to walk. Lynn was able to walk without too much help from Mindy and discovered that they did feel wonderful on his feet. "They feel perfect," said Lynn with a smile on his face. The girls then went to Victoria's Secret after purchasing the heels to buy Lynn his own panties and bra to wear with the dress Mindy was going to loan to him. Lynn bought 3 pairs of thongs, 1 bra to wear with the dress and 2 pairs of nude pantyhose. "God, Mindy, that stuff is so expensive. Why didn't we just buy some inexpensive panties and a bra from Sears?" "Because when you wear my dress I want you to feel sexy from the skin out and nice lingerie is the best way." You might as well splurge once in your life since all this stuff will be gone after next week anyway. I guess you're right, and it did feel special on me. The girls returned to Mindy's home to transform Lynn back to his male self. It was Friday night and Lynn was to be home by 10, so they had to hurry. The transformation took place and Lynn left for home. As he entered the front door of his house, his mother was waiting for him. "Lynn, where have you been all afternoon and evening?" "I was with Mindy, we went to the mall." "Well, I wish you would at least let me know what you are doing so I won't worry about you." "It sounds like you and Mindy are spending a lot of time together. Is she your girlfriend?" "Come on, Mom, you know Mindy and I are just friends." "Just be careful, you never know." Lynn blushed and said good night and walked to his room. His mother couldn't help but notice that Lynn was walking with a flirty sway to his hips. "Lynn, why are you walking that way?" Lynn, not realizing that he was walking like Lynn the girl and not Lynn the boy, answered, "What do you mean?" "You're walking like a girl." My God, thought Lynn, after being a girl all day he forgot that he was a boy again. "I'm sorry, Mom, you know how I love to tease you." "It won't happen again." "I hope not, you're short and thin enough, and with that long hair you refuse to cut, someone might mistake you for a girl, so quit fooling around." "Okay, Mom, good night." Lynn went to his room and couldn't believe how exciting his day had been, and then he was almost caught by his mother. He vowed to be more careful. Lynn fell asleep and dreamed of his day again and of being that desirable girl. He relived all the adventures except when it came to Dan. This time he flirted with him again, and when Dan kissed him, he kissed back. Lynn shot straight up in his bed, eyes wide open, wondering what the heck was going on in his mind. He liked girls, he thought, but maybe not. How could he tell? He hadn't even started puberty, and maybe as a girl he did like boys. The mind games he was playing on himself was becoming very difficult to understand. At least in another week it would all be over. The next morning Mindy called and asked Lynn to come over to her house to practice some more. "Mom, Mindy just called and wants me to come over to study some more. Since it's Saturday, is it all right if I go?" "That should be okay, but if you go somewhere call and let me know. I might be going out with a friend from work and I might be late coming home, so be careful when you come home. Make sure you have your key." "Thanks, Mom." Lynn called Mindy and told her that they could spend the whole day together. "Oh wow, that is so cool. That means we can be girlfriends all day." "Hurry and get over here," replied Mindy. Lynn rode the bus to Mindy's home and reflected on thoughts of what went on the previous few days. Lynn went from nice fun boy to beauty queen girl in just a few hours and was having strange thoughts about what was happening. He knew he shouldn't like what was happening, but he was. The change was exhilarating to him, almost like a chameleon changing colors to blend in and not be noticed. He was also excited with the feelings he got when boys reacted in a way that girls never did when he was a boy. He knew it wasn't right, but he liked these feelings, and he liked the sexual feelings it gave him, ones he didn't get when he was a boy. He almost wished he would hurry up and become a man so he could see what it was like to feel sexual as one. Perhaps it was the lack of testosterone and the small influence of the natural estrogen in his system that was making him feel this way. By the time the bus reached Mindy's home, Lynn was beside himself with self-doubt about his sexuality. Lynn entered Mindy's home and told her that they needed to talk. "Mindy, I don't think we should do this anymore. My mind is all messed up with thinking about being a girl. It was hard enough just trying to be a boy, and now I'm trying to be a girl and it scares me." "Lynn, relax, you are doing fine. You act just like a girl when you are dressed, and you're just nervous because you think someone will discover that you are a boy when we are out. The best way to feel better is to practice more." "I don't want to practice more because it's becoming too easy for me to feel like a girl, and like last night when I got home I forgot and was walking like one and my mom wondered what was going on." "That's a good sign. Maybe we can pull this thing off. It's important for you to be feminine without thinking about it when you go to the different events so you're not discovered." "I guess you're right, it's just so confusing for me at times. First I feel like a boy and then I feel like a girl." "So what do you want to do today?" "I want to go shopping again, only this time we will go over to the Eastmont Mall. No one knows us there, so it will be easier for you to relax when we shop and the kids won't be so likely to discover what we are doing." My mom went to the salon to have her hair done and won't be home for hours, so we can get ready before she gets home and be gone when she does. What should I wear? Come on, I have just the outfit. Lynn and Mindy went to Mindy's room and she handed a pair of shorts and a blouse to Lynn. Lynn, I want you to take a shower again and shave your legs to be sure there is no stubble. When you are done, I will glue your forms on and do your hair. I want you to try to do your own makeup again today, so when we are out I won't have to do it for you. Lynn went into the shower and washed his hair with the fragrant shampoo and shaved his legs once again. This feminine gesture was playing havoc with his brain. The increased sensitivity of his legs was pushing him in a direction he didn't want to go, and yet he couldn't stop the new need to continue. Lynn exited the shower and found his new panties waiting for him. He slid them up his legs and felt the soft feel of satin, creating a new feeling of femininity in him. Yes, he thought, maybe I will be able to get through the next week after all if it is going to feel like this. The panties cradled his tiny penis and made it almost disappear. Lynn, hurry up. The cement has to dry so your breasts don't fall off. Lay here so I can put them on. Lynn lay on the bed and Mindy fixed them to his chest. After the glue had set, Lynn sat up and Mindy gave him a bra to help support the weight of the breasts. Lynn then tried to put on his makeup while Mindy did his hair. When they were finished, Mindy had Lynn do his makeup over until it was right. Lynn, you have to practice doing your makeup until you get it down right, but we will do that when we get home after going to the mall. Mindy blended the seam on the forms with makeup until you couldn't tell they weren't real breasts. Lynn put on the shorts and a tiny blouse that showed some cleavage. He stood back and looked in the mirror. Mindy, I don't think this is such a good idea. Look at me. I look hot. I feel like I have almost nothing on. Lynn, you look like any other girl going to the mall trying to attract boys and shop. Yes, you do look hot, and thank God you do. I would hate it if you looked like a football player in a dress. Relax, have some fun, and see what being a pretty girl is like. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. I know you won't, but I'm not sure that I'm ready to attract boys just yet. Heck, I don't even attract girls. Lynn, you're so silly. Come on, let's go. It's getting late. The girls rode the bus to the mall to shop. They were on their third store when Mindy spotted a boy she had met the last time she had shopped here. Oh my god, it's Charlie. Lynn, quick, let's go say hi. Lynn looked up and saw two boys, and before he could say anything, Mindy waved. Mindy, what are you doing? Lynn asked with fear running through him. Waving to Charlie. God, he's so cute. I met him last time I was here and didn't give him my number, and I was afraid I would never see him again. Come on, just go with it. There is nothing to worry about. We're only going to talk to them. Lynn ran to catch up with Mindy, and 20 feet later Mindy was introducing Lynn to Charlie and his friend Rex. Charlie and Rex were 15-year-old boys that went to a private boys' school in the area and were quite handsome. They both played football for their school and were in very nice shape. Lynn couldn't help but notice the boys looking at her breasts and the exposed cleavage. She was becoming very uncomfortable with the attention. So Charlie, what are you two doing here? Asked Mindy. We just came to hang out, replied Charlie. What about you? Lynn and I came to shop. Would it be all right if Rex and I hang out with you and Lynn? Sure, I would like that. What about you, Lynn? Is it all right? Lynn was flustered. He didn't know what to say. He didn't want to be with the boys but knew Mindy did, and Mindy was his friend, so he acquiesced. I guess it would be okay. The boys and girls spent the next hour wandering the mall, getting to know each other better. They paired up, Mindy with Charlie and Lynn with Rex. Lynn was becoming more at ease with his new being in sex and was enjoying the attention Rex was bestowing on him. Charlie looked at Mindy and asked, "Could we take you and Lynn to the movies? There is a new scare movie playing." "Of course you can, we would love to go." Lynn looked at Mindy as if she had lost her mind. "Lynn and I have to go to the bathroom, we'll be right back." Mindy grabbed Lynn and pulled her to the girls' room. "Lynn, relax, nothing is going to happen, except we get to see a free movie. These guys are nice and won't do anything we don't want them to do, so don't worry, let's go." Lynn was at a loss for words and followed Mindy numbly back to the boys. The boys purchased the tickets and escorted the girls to their seats and went out to buy popcorn and drinks. What if Rex tries to do something to me, like kiss me? Asked Lynn. Just turn away if you don't want him to, and if you do want him to kiss him. I couldn't do that, I'm a boy, and it wouldn't be right. Lynn, you're not a boy right now, you're a girl and a very pretty one at that, so just go with the flow. We just got free tickets to a show and now we are getting free popcorn and drinks. The reason is that we are girls, not a girl and boy. Just think of it as more training to be a girl. By this time the boys had returned with the treats and the lights dimmed so the movie could start. The movie started and the girls and boys ate as much of the popcorn as they wished and set the container on the floor. As the movie progressed, Lynn was becoming chilled because the air conditioner was set at a low temperature and her clothing really wasn't meant to keep her warm. Rex became aware of Lynn's discomfort and put his arm around Lynn's shoulder. Being new at the game of love and seduction, Rex was hoping he wasn't being too forward and scare this gorgeous girl off. Lynn, on the other hand, was feeling cold and Rex's warm arm felt good, so he moved closer to feel the heat radiating off Rex's body. Rex took this as a signal that the girl liked him, so he pulled her tighter to him. Lynn was getting caught up in the movie and was enjoying the warmth coming from Rex. Lynn jumped when the movie startled him and he turned to Rex. Rex misinterpreted this gesture as a signal that Lynn wanted to be kissed. Rex moved his lips to Lynn's and gave her a kiss. This was his first kiss from either a boy or a girl, and he was startled once again. He wanted to pull back, he wanted to push this boy away, he wanted to slap him, he wanted to tell him he was a boy, she wanted to wait a little longer until she pushed him away. Maybe he would stop if she put her arms around his neck and pulled him tight, maybe he would never stop if she were to move even closer to him, and maybe the glow in her stomach would last forever. Maybe. Rex finally ended the kiss, which may have lasted 1 second or 1 minute. Lynn didn't know. She only knew that at this minute she was truly a girl and she had a crush on a boy named Rex. The movie continued and the kisses grew longer and more frequent, and Lynn was becoming more inflamed. Lynn was lucky that Rex was a nice boy and inexperienced at the seduction, or Lynn would have been in trouble. She was feeling a want for some kind of relief, and it wasn't coming from her still flaccid penis but from somewhere else within. She was becoming a woman. The movie ended and the couples left. Lynn gave Rex her number against her better judgment but couldn't help herself. She was in love. The two girls left the boys and went home. When they arrived, Mindy's mother was home and she was waiting for the girls. "Mindy, you were supposed to call me if you were going to be late. Who is your friend?" "I'm sorry, Mom, this is Linda from school. She just moved here and we went to the movie at Eastmont Mall." "Well, I hope this doesn't happen again or you will be on restriction." "Yes, Mom, I'm sorry." The girls went to Mindy's room and started to talk. "Mindy, I can't believe your mom didn't recognize me. I thought I was dead." "Why would she recognize you? I told you that you were too beautiful to be a boy. She only knows you as Lynn the boy and not as the pretty girl you are now." "I know, but I still can't believe it. God, I had so much fun at the mall and Rex is so cute." "Yes, he is, and this is what I mean by you being a girl. Now you sound like one and are acting like one. I think we will be able to get away with you being one next week. All you have to do is remember how you feel now, and no one will ever dream you're not a girl. I can't even believe you're not one. I even feel like I'm one right now. I hope I can go back to being Lynn the boy. This is scary." "Don't worry, this is just a role you are playing, you will be fine." Lynn changed back into the person that came over to Mindy's home that morning and was able to leave without Mindy's mother seeing him go out the door. "Nice meeting you, Mrs. Swanson," said Lynn as the door shut. Lynn entered his home and was trying to be careful not to sway his hips again. His mother looked at him and noticed something different about him. Perhaps it was the slight curl in his ponytail or something else, but there was something, she just couldn't quite put her finger on it. "Did you and Mindy finish your project?" "Yes, but next week we are on the committee for the homecoming dance, so we will be busy all day Saturday." "What time will you have to leave next week?" "Around 8 in the morning." "Okay, don't worry, I will get you up." "You seem different, are you all right?" "I'm fine, Mom, why do you ask?" "I don't know, it's just something moms feel when there is something out of the ordinary, like the curl in your ponytail." Oh, that. Mindy was playing around with my hair and wanted to see how her new hot curler worked and she got carried away. I'll go wash my hair and it will be straight again. Lynn ran off to his room, nervous again that he had slipped up again. Hopefully this whole thing would be over before he made a mistake again. Just then the phone rang and he dashed to answer it before his mom did. Hello. Hi Lynn, this is Rex. I just wanted to call to tell you that I was thinking about you. I'm glad you called, I miss you. I miss you too. When can I see you again? I don't know, my mom won't let me date yet. Maybe we can meet at the mall again. Maybe we'll see. I have to go now, I'll talk to you soon. Lynn hung the phone up and started back to his room. Who was that? Asked his mother. Oh, just a friend from school, he answered. Okay. Lynn turned and ran to his room, hips moving with that flirty little sway again. Lynn, I told you not to do that when you walk, now stop. Sorry Mom, he said with a dreamy look in his eyes. Lynn spent Sunday at home with his mother and helped clean the house and his room. He talked to Mindy and told her that he mentioned to his mother that they were on the homecoming committee and they would leave early the next week. Monday came and Mindy reported to Miss Benson on their progress. Miss Benson, Lynn is doing perfectly. He is so much like a girl when he is dressed like one that he is almost like another person. He becomes a girl all the way through, it's creepy the way he does it. I hope we aren't doing something to him that can't be fixed afterward. I'm sure he will be okay after this is over, but you two should have thought of that before your little prank. Tell Lynn that the luncheon for the Cancer Society is Wednesday and he can change in my office before we have to go. I want you to help him and provide him with something appropriate to wear. Whatever it is you provide, it should be dressy prep if you know what I mean, no jeans or shorts. Yes, Miss Benson. Mindy told Lynn of the schedule for Wednesday and they made their plans on how to succeed. Lynn, I hate to tell you this, but you are going to have to wear a skirt and sweater to the luncheon. I have them for you to wear on Wednesday, but you will have to buy some shoes and a new bra. The one we bought for the dress on Saturday won't work with the sweater and I don't have shoes that fit you and your tiny feet. If we go now we can get it done and be home for dinner. Mindy, I can't go like this, these are my boys' clothes. Yes you can, just put on a little mascara and lipstick and comb out your hair and you will look better than half the girls that go to the mall after school. Are you sure? I don't want to make a fool of myself. You will be fine. Lynn and Mindy went to the mall and ended up at Kathy Jean again and purchased a pair of black pumps with 2-inch heels. Next came Macy's where Lynn purchased a white lacy bra to wear under his sweater. The girls rushed home so they would beat their parents home. Lynn ran into his home and looked in the mirror and realized that he forgot to remove his makeup and pull his hair back into his ponytail. He heard the key in the door and panicked. He rushed to the bathroom and locked the door as his mother entered the house. Lynn, I'm home. Lynn answered, I'm in the bathroom, I'll be right out. He didn't realize that when he did so he did it with a girlish lilt to his voice. Lynn washed the makeup off and returned his hair to its rightful place in the back of his head. Hi Mom, gosh I missed you today, how was work? Lynn said, still not quite back to his male self. Work was fine, what has gotten into my little boy to make him so nice today? I don't know, it's just so nice to see you. Is there something you're not telling me? The only time you're like this is when you've done something wrong. Can't I just be nice for no reason for a change? Yes you can and I like that you are, I hope you can be more like this more often. I think I will be Mom, it's nice being this way. So why are you so giddy this afternoon? I don't know, Mindy and I went to the mall to find some things for the homecoming dance and it was so much fun, she's such a good friend. You must really like her, even your voice is beginning to sound like hers. Oh Mom, as soon as I start changing into a man it won't then, it will get lower. I guess it will, I just hope you don't change too much when it happens, you're such a kind boy, it would be a shame if you became a jerk. Don't worry Mom, I won't. Don't be so sure, hormones are powerful things. I've seen boys change into men and once they began puberty they changed into macho idiots. All they could think about was how fast they could get into our pants or get into a fight. Please don't become that way, promise? I promise, Mom, I won't. Okay, then off to do your homework while I cook dinner. Lin went to his room and did his homework, finishing in about 2 hours. After he was done, he ate dinner with his mother, and when he was finished he gathered the dishes and washed them without being asked. Lin, what has gotten into you? You never do chores without being asked. I don't know, Mom, it just felt like the right thing to do. Well, I hope you don't change. It's nice to have a thoughtful child in the house for a change. Lin finished and went to bed. Rex didn't call, but that didn't stop Lin from dreaming about him and the kisses Rex gave to him. Lin woke with a smile and couldn't wait to get to school. Tuesday passed slowly, and when school finally ended, Mindy dragged Lin to Miss Benson's office. Lin, are you ready for tomorrow? Asked Miss Benson. Yes, I am, replied Lin. Good, make sure you and Mindy bring everything to school tomorrow, and you can come here after third period to change. I will give you a pass so you won't get in trouble with your teachers. Mindy can help you change, and then I will escort you to the Cancer Society meeting. All you will have to do is eat a little lunch, present the check to them and tell them how proud you are to be there, and then we will come back and you can change. You should be back before the end of school. Yes, Miss Benson, I'll be ready. I hope so, Lin, I really hope so. Lin went to sleep that night and had a very fitful sleep. He kept dreaming of the wind blowing his skirt up and everyone could see his penis. They all started to chase him, and the harder he ran the slower went. He would wake just before the crowd was going to catch him. Boy, boy, they would yell. No, I'm not, I'm a girl, he would shout back. No, you're not, they would shout. Yes, I am, this is a mistake, he would say as he pointed at his penis. Cut it off, the crowd would shout. Please leave me alone, I would if I could, he cried as the tears came. Lin woke and sat straight up in his bed, tears streaming down his face. His mother entered his room to see what the shouting was about. Lin, honey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Mom, I had the worst dream, people wanted to hurt me. Don't worry, honey, I won't let anything happen to you, I love you so much, she said as she cradled him to her breast. Lin snuggled against his mother and felt the fear disappear in his mother's love. Thank you, Mom, I feel better now. Lin went back to sleep and didn't have any more nightmares that night. Wednesday arrived and it seemed that first, second and third periods were 10 minutes long. They went so fast. It was time to go to Miss Benson's office to get ready. Mindy, do you have everything for Lin to get ready? Asked Miss Benson. Yes, I do. Here, Lin, take this bag into Miss Benson's restroom and change into your panties and bra. We won't glue your forms on today, so it will be easier to change back when we return to school. Lin went into the restroom and changed. He was reluctant to exit with Miss Benson in the other room. Come on out, Lin, you're not the first girl I've seen in just a bra and panties, stated Miss Benson. Lin exited feeling very self-conscious. Mindy had him sit and put on his pantyhose and then made Lin's face up and styled his hair. Mindy had brought a soft sleeveless pink sweater with a V-neck and low-cut back. The gray skirt came about 2 inches above his knees. Lin then put on his heels and looked in the mirror. He was beautiful. Lin, you are so pretty, I can't believe that you are really a boy, said Miss Benson. Thank you, I guess, said Lin. You should feel proud to have such beauty. Let me take a look at you to be sure there is nothing amiss. Miss Benson looked and had Lin walk across the room. Lin turned and walked back. Her walk was perfect, it was soft and feminine, better than a lot of the real girls in the school. Miss Benson also noticed that Lin was radiating an inner beauty that couldn't be painted on like makeup. Lin was a girl and proud of it. Lin, how do you feel? I don't know, a little scared, I guess. Don't be, you're beautiful and sexy, hold your head high when you walk, let everyone know that you are a princess. Lin felt her eyes begin to tear with happiness. Stop, don't you dare cry or I will have to fix your makeup, said Mindy. I won't, I promise, giggled Lin, a most feminine gesture. The 2 girls and their teacher left and went to the meeting. Lin was a huge hit with all the ladies at the luncheon. They couldn't help but fawn over such a pretty young woman. Lynn made her speech and then the girls left and returned to school. Lynn was relieved that everything went so well. Girls, don't forget that on Saturday Lynn is to have her makeover at 9 a.m. at the spa, so don't be late. The other girls will be there also and you will have a chance to meet them. Lynn, you were perfect today and I'm very proud of the way you handled yourself. The ladies loved you. I'm sure there were many that would have loved to bring you home with them. See you at the parade Saturday, said Miss Benson. Thank you, Miss Benson. I had a wonderful time at the luncheon and all the ladies were so nice to me. I wish I could do it again. They were nice because they thought you were a lovely young woman. It's almost a shame that you have to become a boy again. You really seem to shine as a girl. It is fun being this way and for some reason my confidence seems to grow when I'm dressed as a girl, but I know it's wrong, so next week it's back to being a boy full time. Lynn finished changing just in time for school to let out and made plans with Mindy to meet at 7 a.m. to get ready on Saturday. When Lynn reached home he did his homework and waited for his mother to arrive from work. When she arrived at home they ate a takeout dinner while Lynn told his mother of his plans for Saturday. Mom, I'm going to be gone all day Saturday. Mindy and I are on the homecoming committee and we are meeting at 7 in the morning. We will be busy all day so I won't be home until after the homecoming dance, so you won't have to wait up for me. I normally would wait for you, but I am going to a wedding shower for one of the girls at work and I probably won't be home until after midnight, but I expect you to be home right after the dance. When you get home I want you to call me on my cell phone so I know you are safe. What time does the dance let out? I think around 10:30, so I should be home by 11 or so. Okay, just be careful. I will. Love you, Mom. Thursday and Friday came and went and the time seemed to fly at times and drag at others. Lynn was apprehensive yet excited at the prospect of becoming a princess once again. The experience at the Cancer Society as a princess and as a young woman was pushing him ever so slightly towards a need he didn't yet understand. Friday night Lynn slept and dreamed once again of being a princess, only this time she was the princess of a realm. He was dressed in a great flowing strapless gown with many petticoats to fill it out. He was riding in a carriage drawn by many horses and driven by a man in a uniform. When the carriage reached its destination a footman opened the carriage door for Lynn to exit into the arms of a prince. The prince was Rex. Rex kneeled at her feet and proposed marriage. Oh my darling prince, I can't marry you just yet as I'm only 14 years old and I'm still a boy. I will wait for you until you are old enough to marry my dearest, he responded. You would wait for me? Yes, for I truly love the beautiful princess you've become. But I'm still a boy. No, you're not, for you became a girl when you became a princess. Only girls can be a princess, for if you were truly a boy you would be a prince and not a princess. Oh my dearest Rex, of which you speak must be true. I am a girl through and I will marry you when I am old enough. Kiss me, my dearest. Rex took his princess into his arms and kissed Lynn deeply, filling her with love that only two people could have in the perfect world of dreams. Lynn's alarm went off at 6 a.m. and broke the magic spell only two lovers could have. He rubbed his eyes and searched his room for his magical prince. Ugh, he thought, time to get up and catch the early bus to Mindy's. Lynn pulled on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and raced to catch the bus, which was early for a change. He arrived at Mindy's and she opened the door for him. Hurry, you have to take a shower and get ready. Don't forget to shave your legs and underarms while you are in there. Lynn did as he was told and exited to find a pair of red satin thong panties to put on. He pulled them up his smooth legs and reveled at the sexiness of the fabric as it slid against his skin. Mindy entered the room and pulled him to her bed and had him lie down so she could position his breast forms perfectly. Mindy applied cement to the forms and held them in place until they set. I put a little extra cement on the forms today because I don't want them falling off. They may take a little longer to remove, but it will be worth it. Put a little makeup on, not too much because they will remove it at the salon anyway, and put your hair back into your ponytail, only make it a little higher on your head, like a girl would wear it. Put on these shorts and this blouse so we can get going. We will come back here later so you can dress for the parade and dance. My mom knows you are a princess, except she thinks you are a girl named Linda, so as long as you look like a girl there will be no problem. Mindy applied some makeup to the forms and blended them with extra care this day so that they would appear as normal breasts. When she was done, Lynn was once again a pretty girl on her way to the salon for a makeover. The two girls rushed to the bus for their trip to the salon. They arrived at 8:45 and Lynn was the second princess there. The salon owner introduced herself to Lynn and Mindy. "Welcome to Styles Spa. I'm Brenda Wadsworth, the owner and manager, and I hope we can make your morning here one in which you will want to return to enjoy again and again. Please come this way so we can get started on your makeover. Please remove your blouse and put on the smock in the dressing room and come over to have your hair washed and conditioned." Lynn and Mindy went to the dressing room to put on the smock. Lynn made sure to cover her bra as she didn't want anyone to see her breasts and figure out that they weren't really hers. Lynn walked back into the salon and an attractive woman in her late 20s motioned her over to her station. "Hello, my name is Sandra, and I will be your stylist today. Congratulations on being elected a princess. What's your name?" "Lynn, and thank you. Let me take your hair down so I can see what I have to work with." Sandra removed Lynn's rubber band and fluffed out his hair. "You have nice hair, but you shouldn't use a rubber band to hold it. A scrunchie would be better and it wouldn't damage your hair. What do you have in mind for me to do?" "I don't know. I want my hair to look nice for tonight, but I also want to be able to return it to a ponytail whenever I want," Lynn said as he was thinking to himself that as long as he had his ponytail his mother would know nothing of this adventure. Let me see. I think I have the perfect style for you. It will be sexy and you will be able to have a ponytail afterwards." "That would be perfect," said Lynn. Sandra led Lynn to the wash station and had her assistant wash and condition Lynn's hair. When she was done, she wrapped Lynn's hair in a towel and led him back to Sandra's station. When Lynn looked around, he noticed that Mindy had gone, leaving him to decide what was to be done to him. Sandra unwrapped Lynn's hair and said, "I will have to trim your hair a little bit to get the look we want, but don't worry, it will give it more body. Your friend said she would be back later and that she was going home to get your dress ready for tonight." Sandra started to trim Lynn's hair, and after a little while she was done. Lynn thought that she had trimmed a lot, but his hair looked the same to him although it hadn't been styled yet. "I'm going to give you a light perm so it will be easier for you to style your hair and it will hold better when you do. It won't have a lot of curls but much more body. I know you will love it." Lynn didn't know what to say because he didn't know what was happening to him or his hair, so he just replied, "Okay." His hair was put in large rollers and then the solution was added and he was led to the dryers to finish this next step. While he was there, another girl came to him to do his nails. "Hi, I'm Judy and I'm going to do your nails while your hair dries. What color is the dress you are going to wear tonight?" "It's red." "Okay, let me remove your shoes and let me look at your hands. My goodness, your fingernails are very short. How come?" "I play water polo and you're not allowed to have long nails, so I have to keep them trimmed. Well, tonight is a special night for you, so I will put some extensions on them for you and you can trim them off before your next match." Lynn settled back and Judy did her magic on his toes and fingers, and when she was done, Lynn's toes were deep red and his fingernails extended a half of an inch longer than they were when he came in here. He looked at his hands and turned them up, extending his fingers so as to have a look at them. "They're beautiful, Judy. I love them," exclaimed Lynn as he filled with excitement of the transformation. What was lost to him was the girlish gesture he had done with his hands without a second thought and the girlish lilt that was becoming second nature with his voice. Sandra returned and led Lynn to another station to have his makeup done before his hair could be combed out. Lynn sat and another very pretty girl arrived with a tray that had more colors than he had thought imaginable. "You must be a princess. Hi, I'm Rachel and I'm going to make your face to die for. You're very pretty, so this is going to be easy. I have to do a few things first." "Who did your eyebrows?" "My friend Mindy did them. They aren't quite straight, so I will just remove a few strays and make them even and then we can start." Rachel began to pluck Lynn's brows and he thought she was removing more than just a few, however she did say that she was just going to make them even. "They're all done, now I can get started. When I'm done I will give you samples of the makeup that I use, so you will be able to do this yourself. Let me turn you so you can watch what I do." Rachel turned Lynn so he could watch Rachel do her magic on his face. When he saw what she had done to his brows, he gasped. "What's wrong?" she asked. What could he say? He was supposed to be a girl and he couldn't say that his brows were too feminine looking for a boy, so he said, "My brows are beautiful, you surprised me. I'm glad you like them. I really wanted to remove more of them, but I guess this will have to do." This will have to do, thought Lynn. They couldn't be more feminine looking than they were now. What am I going to say to my mother? God, how did I get into this mess? Rachel began to make Lynn's face up and explained each move and why she was doing what she was. When she was done, Lynn was speechless. Never had he seen a face as pretty as his. It was as though he couldn't stop staring at himself. "Wow, I think I even outdid myself," stated Rachel. "But when you start with beauty, you end up with beauty." "Oh, Rachel, I can't believe how pretty you made me look." "Honey, I didn't do that much. You were already gorgeous. I just highlighted a few things. Now go have your hair brushed out. It's getting late. It's already after 12. Lynn returned to Sandra's station to have the makeover finished. Sandra removed Lynn's rollers and then Sandra added more fluid to his hair. "This will relax the curl in your hair so I can style it. It will only take another hour and then you will be done. Your friend said that she is going to meet you at the school with your dress and under things so you can change there because they will be taking pictures before the parade starts and they don't want you girls getting mussed." Lynn went back to the dryer and read Vogue while his hair dried. He saw a beautiful dress that he wanted in the worst way. It was strapless and had lace everywhere and the hem was lower on one side than the other. "I have to tell Mindy about this dress. It's so beautiful." Sandra returned and led Lynn back to finish styling his hair. She brushed and combed, fluffed and pushed, curled and snipped a few straggling ends until she was done. Lynn looked and looked. He tried to find the boy that had left his mother's home that morning, but he was nowhere to be found. Staring back at him was a girl, not just any girl, but a girl that would stop traffic in the modeling district of New York City. His face was perfection and his hair was so feminine. Sandra had layered it and cut the front of it so that he had tendrils framing his face almost to his chin, and as it went back it became longer until the back fell below his shoulders and brushed his back. This, added to the fullness of the style, made him weak. How was he ever going to be able to have a ponytail with hair like this, he wondered. "Sandra, how will I be able to have a ponytail with this hairstyle?" Lynn asked with concern. "It's easy, honey, watch." Sandra pulled Lynn's hair back into a sort of ponytail, except in the front his hair still framed his face. "See, just like that, except now when you wear a ponytail you will still look sexy. That's what you wanted, wasn't it?" Lynn thought, how can I say that I can't ever look like a boy with hair like this without wrecking my own life more than it already is? "You're right, Sandra, it's beautiful. I'm all done, so go back and put on your blouse and join the rest of the girls, so you can get to the school for your pictures." Lynn went and changed and joined the rest of the court for their ride to school. The other girls introduced themselves to each other and started chattering about the rest of the day. Lynn felt out of place at first, but as the girls made her feel welcome she too became excited with the moment. She was giggling and talking about fashion and boys and teachers and boys just like the real girls, and in fact she too had become a real girl. Mindy was waiting when Lynn arrived at the school. "Hurry, Lynn, you can change in Miss Benson's office." As Lynn exited the cab, Mindy's mouth fell open. She couldn't believe her eyes. What had happened to his friend? He was gorgeous. He put the other girls to shame and they too were pretty. She grabbed Lynn's arm and led her away. "My God, Lynn, what have you done? How are you going to explain this to your mother? How are you going to hide your hair or eyebrows and your nails? What were you thinking?" "I don't know, Mindy. I just agreed with everything they asked me because I didn't know what they were talking about and this happened," Lynn said as she raised and lowered her hands to motion to herself. "I'm so sorry. I should have never left you alone at the salon. I will think of something that we can do after the dance, but it won't be easy. Remember what you said when we first started this prank? What could go wrong? Well, I guess we know now. Well, hurry, let's get you dressed and I will think of something." Mindy let Lynn into Miss Benson's office and told her to remove everything except her panties. Mindy handed Lynn a red strapless bra and had her put it on. Next came the nude pantyhose and then the short red half-slip. Mindy removed the dress from a garment bag and when Lynn saw it she gasped. It was so pretty. Mindy had Lynn raise her arms and then helped her lower the dress down over her head, being careful not to muss her makeup and hair. The dress settled into place after Mindy had Lynn insert her arms into the sleeves. Mindy fastened the hook and then zipped the dress. The dress was tight and made Lynn pull her stomach in, which created curves where there were none before. The dress was red satin off the shoulder and stopped 3 inches above the knee. There was red lace from the waist down to the hem and also down the sleeves. Lynn stepped into her red sandals and Mindy fastened the ankle strap. Mindy brushed Lynn's hair and then had her look in the mirror. This time it was Lynn's time to be shocked. She looked at the person in the mirror, unable to move. "This can't be me," he thought. "It can't be. I'm too beautiful to be a boy." Lynn was finally able to move and talk. "Mindy, I can't believe this is me. I'm so pretty." "Lynn, it is you, and I can't believe it's you either. You're beautiful. More importantly, how do you feel?" "I look beautiful, but inside I feel pretty. I feel like the girl I've become." "Oh Mindy, what am I going to do? I don't want to be a boy again after all this. I wish there was something we could do so I would never have to change back. Everything about this feels so right. My hair and makeup, my underwear, and even my false breasts feel right in this dress. The way it holds me and caresses me with each step I take makes me feel so feminine, and even these 3-inch heels feel right. They are so comfortable to wear. Gosh, I wish I was born a woman." "Lynn, I know how you feel. I felt the same way when I wore that dress, but after I took it off I realized that it was the dress making me feel that way. When I put on my regular clothes I felt differently, but was glad that I was a girl and could wear clothes like that. At least I can still wear sexy underwear every day to remind me of how wonderful it is to be a girl. When you take off this dress tonight and you put your boy clothes back on, make a spot in your mind to save all that you are going to experience tonight, so you can remember it the rest of your life. This way you will remember yourself as Lynn, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen," said Mindy as a tear formed in her eye. "Oh Mindy, I love you," replied Lynn as her eyes also began to water. "Stop Lynn, don't cry, you will ruin your makeup," Mindy shouted as she started to giggle. The girls left the office and went to the photo shoot. The photographer was stunned by Lynn's beauty. He began the shoot with group pictures of the girls, then the boys and girls together. After that came the couples, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and then the king and queen seniors. Then came the individual shots of each student. The photographer finished with Lynn, but only after shooting twice as many shots of her as the rest of the students. He had her pose this way and that way, sitting and standing, and unsure laying down if it weren't for her dress. He finished just in time for the parade to start. All of the couples were escorted out to a convertible car and were to sit on the top of the back seat. In the first car was Lynn and her Prince Bill Jones. In the second was Brittany Atherton and her escort Robert Feingold, and in the third car was Princess Stephanie Smithson and Prince Sean Murphy. The king and queen were Jason Carlson and Susan King. The parade circled the football field at halftime of the game to the applause of the audience. When the parade was finished, the girls went to the gymnasium to await the dance because they didn't want to get dirty or mussed in the stands at the game. The game ended with a victory for the home team, and soon the dance began. The dance was almost like a wedding, with the king and queen dancing first and then the prince and princesses joined in. After that ceremony was over, everyone was allowed to dance. Lynn was the object of many of the male students, all wanting to impress her with their moves. She began to enjoy watching the boys try to impress her with their dancing ability. Lynn was having innocent fun until Jason asked her to dance. She looked at him, and now she felt the need to try to impress someone herself. Jason was a tall senior, very handsome and tall, standing 6'1" and not an ounce of fat on him. Every girl in school was smitten with him, and now Lynn was no exception. Fortunately, Jason was smitten as well with the extraordinary beauty. They began to dance, this being a fast one, and then the next was slow. Jason swept Lynn into his arms and they began to dance without a word spoken. Lynn pulled herself tight against Jason's warm body and looked up into his eyes. This was all the communication they needed to know that they were falling for each other. More words were said with their eyes than could ever be said with one's mouth. The dance ended, but the couple didn't part and continued to dance to their own special music. The next dance started, and it was a fast tune. This broke the special moment going between the two students. Jason asked Lynn if she would like something to drink, so they left the dance floor and sat down to enjoy each other's company. Jason returned with a soda for Lynn and himself and sat down. The two talked for an hour about all sorts of things and were becoming infatuated with each other. It was the last dance, so they went back to the floor and Jason once again held Lynn close to him. He could smell her perfume and feel her body through the satin of her dress. He was becoming aroused. Please don't let her feel this thing happening, he thought to himself. I don't want to scare her off already. Lynn could feel what was happening and knew what it was after spending so much time with the other princesses. She wasn't disgusted by it, but quite the contrary, she liked what was happening. She liked having this effect on this boy she found so handsome. The dance ended and the couple stood apart, but Jason wouldn't let go of Lynn's hand. Lynn, I want to see you again. I want to see you too, but my mother won't let me date until I'm 16. Well, I will find a way to see you. I love you. Lynn was at a loss for words. Jason loves me, she thought, but how does he know so soon? Maybe when you get older you know, but I don't even know right now. I just know I want to be with Jason and I will find some way to be with him. Lynn. It was Miss Benson calling her. Do you have a way home? Yes, I'm riding with Mindy, Lynn answered. I was afraid of that. Mindy was sent home early. It seems she took a Valium and then someone gave her a Coke with some rum in it and she passed out. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's all right, Miss Benson. I would be more than happy to drive Lynn home, said Jason. Lynn, would that be all right? Jason is a nice young man, so he can be trusted. Would you mind? That would be fine. I can pick my things up at Mindy's tomorrow. Jason and Lynn left the dance and with Lynn's arm draped on his. The star-struck lovers could only think of how lucky they were to have found each other. Jason intertwined his fingers with hers and let go only when he reached the car and opened the door for his new love. Lynn sat and swung both legs together into the car like any proper young woman would do. Jason couldn't help but notice Lynn's shapely legs when she did this. God, I'm so lucky to have found a girl like this, sexy and innocent, beautiful, and yet she can have a conversation without sounding stupid. Thank you, God. Jason went around and let himself into the car. After he sat down, Lynn moved over to him and snuggled against his arm. Jason started the car and then put his arm around Lynn's shoulder. He feels so warm and strong, thought Lynn. I hope he kisses me when he drops me off. He's so wonderful and handsome. Jason arrived at Lynn's home and opened the door for her to exit. The two lovers walked hand in hand up to the front porch. Thank you, Jason, for driving me home. I had a wonderful evening, said Lynn as she took Jason's other hand in hers. I did too. I just wish your mother would let you date, answered Jason as he looked deeply into her eyes. Oh, Jason, Lynn said as she let go of Jason's hands and threw her arms around his neck and held him tight with her head nestled against his chest. The couple stood holding each other in an embrace for several minutes and words of love passed through their bodies even though not a sound passed their lips. Jason pulled back and looked down at his love and lowered his lips to hers and began their first kiss. Jason felt Lynn's lips as they pressed against his with a passion he had never felt from another girl before. Her lips felt soft and innocent and pure, like a virgin falling in love for the first time. Lynn broke the kiss and said to Jason, "Hold me?" Jason took her trembling body to his and held her. I had better go in now, Lynn said to Jason after she had calmed down. Okay, good night, Lynn, he said as he gave her one last kiss. Lynn had to use the secret key, the one hidden under the third vase from the left, as her key was still at Mindy's in his jeans. Lynn unlocked the door and entered the living room and sat on the couch. She sat and reflected the day's events and how she had found a new person hidden under the skin of a boy named Lynn. She felt serene and whole, she felt calm. It was the most wonderful feeling she had ever felt. Lynn reached down to take her heels off and made a discovery. Her nails were in the way to undo the ankle straps on her sandals. This will take some doing, she thought. Let me think of how to do it without breaking them. She leaned against the pillows at the end of the couch and thought of her nails, but quickly the thoughts changed to Jason. A warm glow filled her body as she drifted off to sleep. Lynn didn't hear the key sliding past the pins in the lock cylinder or the deadbolt snapping open, or the door shutting. Nor did she hear the sound of heels clicking on the hardwood floor as Mrs. Collins entered the room. Lynn's mother looked at the couch and saw the girl asleep, laying against the pillows in a semi-upright position. My goodness, she thought, my little boy has brought home a girlfriend. No wonder he and Mindy are just friends, this girl is beautiful. She looked at her with the eyes of a mother appraising her son's selection of a soulmate. This girl is beautiful, she thought, her hair and makeup are perfect, her dress is sexy but classy, she has pretty legs and her heels are perfect for this dress. I wonder if she is as pretty inside as she is out. Mrs. Collins reached down and touched Lynn's shoulder. Lynn opened her pretty eyes and looked, trying to recognize the person standing over her. Her mind was focusing and finally she saw and gasped, "Mommy," then a pause and then, "Oh Mommy." "Mommy? Lynn, is that you?" "Oh my God, what happened?" asked Mrs. Collins as her face went pale. Lynn stood legs together, never losing one bit of femininity, and looked at her mother, tears forming in her eyes, and said, "Mommy, please hold me." And then the dam broke and the tears ran down her face as her mother took her in her arms and held her tight. "Shoo, shhh, it's all right, my baby, it's all right, nothing's going to hurt you, Mommy's here, I won't let anything happen to my little girl, I love you."